Right now, brought to you by Ford and your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. It is time to talk with Dallas Cowboys Executive Vice President Stephen Jones. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, guys.
Well, it was a heck of a heart-stopping win there yesterday, and Brandon Aubrey.
Hold on, Stephen. I got a question here.
No.
I'm really excited about this. How much pie does Brandon Aubrey deserve?
I love it. He obviously did a great job yesterday. I mean, he's just continues to do a great job. Is a better way to say it, but he's just a guy that you can count on. But the bigger thing than that, we've had guys through like that, is just the distance, and you get to the 50-yard line and you feel like you're in his range. So anyway, he's certainly a weapon, and certainly a huge part of why we won the game yesterday.
Would you have ever thought, just going back years and years ago, you would ever see a weapon like that where you got to midfield and you could definitely kick a field goal from there?
No, I mean, you just it's evolved, and I'm on the competition committee, but in general, these kickers, have really gotten to where, one, they're really accurate, but two, they do it from long distance. And it used to be a 50-yard field goal was, getting to where it was pretty iffy, and these guys around the league are pretty accurate. With those type of kicks, not to the extent our guy is, it doesn't feel like, but, it's just it's evolved, and these guys are really, these soccer-style kickers get a lot of power, and they're really good at it, and hats off to them. They got a great skill.
Now, you just mentioned being on the competition committee. I admit this is a biased question as someone who grew up a Cowboys fan and still am a Cowboys fan. Can you get it on the competition committee so that one penalty does not cancel out three penalties on the exact same play?
That was interesting. I mean, there was a lot of those officials had a lot of activity, and they were very busy yesterday. But, for the most part, I must say, the fouls that were called looked, pretty legitimate and hard to argue with. It was just one of those games. It was physical. It was a typical NFC East battle, and they were certainly wanting to set a tone, and we were wanting to do the same. And, we evolved into, after a real slow start, we came around and, played good football in a lot of areas. Obviously, there's a lot of areas we have to improve on if we were going to be the team we want to be this year.
Dak Prescott's record in division is sterling, and his record against the Giants is pretty spectacular as well. How do you explain his dominance within the division and the Cowboys' dominance over the Giants over this time?
Well, you just it's hard to explain. I mean, you get on runs, and they have cold spells, and I was on the phone with John Mara last week. We serve on the competition committee, and we were actually talking about that. And he said it's getting to where you're not very pleasant to talk to. I said, well, I understand. We've had a good run here, but you just never know when those things are going to go the other way on you as well. But let's go back to Dak. He's obviously we think one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL, and he does a great job of preparation. He does know our division very well, and he's been very successful within it. And it all starts, if you want to have success in this league, it all starts with winning your division.
Plenty of good news always comes out of a win, but this is also the NFL. You talked about how physical it was. We saw the injury to Cooper Beebe, and the word is this morning he'll be out 6 to 8 weeks. I wanted to see if you could confirm that, and then the assumption that he'll go on the IR.
Well, it's we hope it's on the shorter end of that. I've always bet on these guys like Cooper Beebe who are resilient. They're tough. They play through things, and just feel like hopefully it will be on the shorter end of that, but there probably is a pretty good chance that he'll end up on the IR, DTR. And, the good news is we've got a couple of young centers. I thought Hoffman stepped up yesterday and did a really nice job. And it's got to be next man up. I mean, this is the game we're in. You look around the league, there's, injuries are part of it. And that's why you have 53 players, you have 16 practice, you have a European player, 16 practice squad players. You got, designations like IR, DTR that allow you to bring guys back now, which I think is good for the league. I think everyone's embraced that. It's kind of unanimous around the league that it's certainly a good position to take where if guys are going to be out a while, they can get that time out and then come back. So, it's just a physical game. And, the guys continue to get bigger, stronger, faster. And with that, with those type of things come, injuries are going to happen, and they're a part of our game.
Absolutely nice to have a win like that, Stephen, coming away from yesterday. Our listening audience has been very expressive about the secondary yesterday, though, and we've been kind of discussing it. Is the personnel there still trying to figure out how to work best within Eberflus's defense, or did you feel like there was some lack of communication yesterday? What was the feeling there on the secondary?
I just feel like we're evolving. We've, played pretty good against the pass, against the Eagles. We gave up the one big play. Obviously yesterday was not the same story. And, it never helps to be missing one of your top corners in Bland. And obviously Diggs is coming off a significant injury. So, this is going to evolve. The good news is Bland is going to be coming back. I think Diggs is just going to get better. I think we're getting a guy like Rebel back, and Carson, and I think there's going to be help on the way. In the meantime, we got to continue to work to get better each week. And Eberflus is Coach Eberflus has had great defenses throughout his careers in the NFL. He had top 10 defenses in Indy, did a great job in Chicago as the head coach / play caller. And we just have a lot of confidence that we'll certainly get this right. I think that the pieces are there. We just got to get everybody rowing in the same direction and make sure we understand philosophically what we're trying to get accomplished. And I really have a lot of confidence that we'll get better.
Any ETA on those potential reinforcements, whether it's the longer-term ones of Revel and Carson or hopefully shorter-term with Bland?
Well, the guys who are on the IR have to be there for 4 weeks. So Revel and Carson will be there for 4 weeks. And, since Revel hadn't had any type of practicing with us because of his injury, he's certainly been in the classroom and takes the mental reps out on the field. But, we expect that, he'll need the full 3 weeks to, get into football type shape, practice, and that type of thing. Carson should be a lot more ready to step up and go. And then certainly we hope Bland, probably looking at, depending on how his week goes, probably a long putt for him to make the game against the Bears. But certainly we hope he'll have, a chance if he doesn't make it this week, hopefully the next week.
The effort and the type of game you got from Javonte Williams yesterday, when you signed this player, was that kind of like, this is what we're going to get from this guy?
We certainly, that was in the plan. I mean, we had him, and as everybody knows, who follow the Cowboys and the moves we make, we had, really top grades on him coming out. We really liked what he did his rookie year. He then had, the unfortunate major knee injury, and it usually does take a couple years to come off that. He split some time last year. We like what we saw and what he did, and really thought his arrow was up when we signed him, and he's done nothing but exceed expectations since he's walked in the door with us. And as you can see, we're running the ball really well. Shotty's committed to it. I think we're doing a good job doing that, and feel good about what that future holds. But also look forward to getting, as we move forward, hopefully getting an opportunity to get Bland up and see what he can do. Blue.
Oh, yes.
You talked about some of the moves the teams have been making. There was a couple over the weekend with Jadeveon Clowney, and then going back to Tyler Smith, 4 years, $96 million. Why was this the right time and this the right player to get that deal done?
Well, for Jadeveon, it was just, obviously when you lose one on the edge, and we traded that out for, what we feel like is a really great player who's already making a big difference in our run defense in Kenny Clark. But we just felt like to have a reinforcement, like a Jadeveon Clowney. We certainly know he's, been in the league a while. He's over 30, but we think he can really come in here and give us, 20 plays a game to really disrupt and rush the passer, which certainly can help us. As far as Tyler Smith's concerned, I mean, that's the nature of, these big negotiations. They take time. I think everybody's been aware that we've been working to get this done, and, it just sometimes every negotiation's different, and sometimes they take time. The good news is we have that done, so we'll have him obviously for the next 6 years. The two that we already had him for, and then obviously 4 new ones.
How much easier does that make handling the salary cap hit when you're able to sign somebody who is still under the rookie deal for another 2 seasons?
Yeah, I think it just certainly evens that out and makes it, very manageable. You're talking about two of our top young players in the game, in our organization, and for that matter, in the game. I know a lot of people feel like Tyler's, if not the best, one of the top guards in the NFL, and certainly Bland has, really played extraordinarily for us when he's been healthy. And I just feel like that was a good move for us, and certainly, not spending, as we talked about, spending all your money, a lot of money on one particular guy. You can spread that out over guys like a Bland, a Tyler Smith, a Lupke, a Jadeveon Clowney, and have draft picks to boot in the future.
Obviously, you wouldn't have had the extra draft picks, but as our salary cap guru, is it not fair to say that these deals still could have gotten done even if you kept and extended Micah?
Yeah, it would have been a stretch. I don't know that we're able to do everything. It's a lot more shorter term, and, especially a guy like Clowney. I mean, that probably wouldn't even have been a thought, in terms of looking at something like that. But certainly, they were in the mix, but it allows you to be a little more aggressive and get the deal done.
Stephen, we got to see all the range of emotions of your family up in the suite yesterday as the game was coming to an end. Throughout the entire time, you got Jerry; his hands are all clasped and ready to go, and hoping for this, and then the celebration. How would you describe Brian Schottenheimer's emotions after his first victory?
Yeah, I mean, he's it's just so real in terms of authentic in terms of what he's about. He just never changes, in terms of the emotion and energy and the way this team responds to him. You could tell, every player in that locker room was thrilled to get Coach Schottenheimer that first win. And Jerry and I felt the same way. As I told Coach Schottenheimer, getting that first win in any given season is always the tough one, is getting that first one. And certainly good to get the first win, for the whole team, the staff, the organization. To get that first win was big. It was, as you said, certainly a roller coaster, but you don't ever apologize with how you win in the NFL. A win is a win. And, as I said last week, I don't think anyone in the organization felt there were any moral victories in the loss to Philadelphia. So, people say, well, you could be 0-2, and I said, well, you could be 2-0, but at the end of the day, you are what you are. You're 0-1, and then we win the game. We're 1-1, and we got a chance to improve every day going forward and get this team to where we want it to be to compete, to be a really good football team this year, and then see what happens.
One of the big stories just across the country last week was the the murder of Charlie Kirk, and we had heard that NFL teams were given the option about what to do with that. Can you walk us at all through the team's process? Obviously, y'all did the moment of silence and honored him, and I know a lot of people really appreciated that.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot to add. I mean, we just felt like it was the right thing to do, and we're against any type of violence, gun violence, any type of violence, in society, and certainly, that's just really a difficult situation when you see anything like that, regardless of who the person is, an innocent person. Basically being assassinated, and we felt like it was the right thing to do organizationally.
Well, we appreciate the time as always. Congratulations on the win, and we'll catch up with you next week.
Hey, guys, great being on. Look forward to next week.